If you're thinking about buying a home in Frisco, stop right here because this may be one of the best values I've seen in the reserve. It's renovated, upgraded, completely move-in ready, and it's located in one of Frisco's most sought after neighborhoods. There's two features in this home that completely transformed the main living room, and the other is something that I talk about in pretty much all my videos. Hi, welcome. Come on in. This home feels completely different from what you might expect just looking at the exterior. The sellers have put more than $580,000 into renovating this home, and it starts right here with this beautiful custom white oak door. This is absolutely gorgeous. This isn't something that you see in every renovation, honestly, and it immediately gives the entrance this really warm and substantial feeling. Now the foyer opens directly into this main living area, so when you walk in, you're not walking into a closed off entry. You immediately get the light, you got the vaulted ceilings and the fireplace and this huge window that just transforms the entire room. Before we even get into the rooms, I want you to notice the woodwork. All the interior doors were replaced with stained alder wood doors. The wood frames around the windows were also replaced and stained to coordinate so that everything just feels really cohesive throughout the house. You also have fresh white paint, new lighting, new fixtures, and new engineered hardwood flooring. It's one thing to update a kitchen. It's another thing to carry the renovation through the entire house so that the old and the new finishes don't feel disconnected. And they did an absolutely amazing job with this. Then you step into this room. You've got vaulted ceilings, you've got the gas fireplace, and just a really open connection between the living room, the dining room, the kitchen. This is exactly the kind of layout that most people picture when they think about owning a mountain home up here. Everyone can just be together. You still have, clearly defined spaces for cooking, dining, relaxing. Now, this is the first feature that I mentioned earlier. This window is one of the major changes that the sellers made during the renovation. The original living room window was so much smaller. It had tons of framing and separation. So they enlarged the opening and replaced it with this huge triple pane window. And you guys, it completely transformed the room. You get so much more natural light and a cleaner view, and you've got this just beautiful connection to the trees outside. Just imagine what this is like in the fall when all the aspen leaves are turning that golden yellow color. It's just gorgeous. It's one of the changes that may not fully register when you're scrolling through the listing photos, but when you stand in this room, you immediately understand how much of a difference this makes. Now, all of the windows in the house were replaced with triple pane windows. That helps with energy efficiency and comfort, but in this particular home, there's another extremely important reason that those windows matter. And we're going to test them. I'm going to show you exactly why they matter in a few minutes, so stay with me. And for the second feature that I mentioned earlier that I just love, that's upstairs. It changes the light on the entire level. We'll get into that in a moment. So the fireplace is framed by these windows that make it the focal point, and it keeps the room from becoming too heavy, too dark. You also get beautiful evening light and sunsets coming through here. Just imagine this room after a day on the slopes. You've got the fire going, everyone's spread out between the kitchen, the living room, and nobody feels like they're stuck off in a separate room. That's one of my favorite things about this floor plan. It feels so open, but it still feels comfortable and cozy. Now the kitchen was completely redesigned with all new wood cabinetry and quartz countertops. You have a new cooktop and microwave, updated fixtures, new lighting, canned lighting, and new tile. There's also a pantry and a lot of usable cabinet and counter space. I really like the mix of finishes that they did here. You have the warmth of the natural wood, which feels perfect for a mountain home, but the black quartz gives it this really nice contrast. It makes the kitchen just feel more modern, and because the walls are lighter, the space feels bright and open. And this is your view while you're cooking. You're still connected to the living room, the fireplace, the dining area, and all those windows. Nobody gets stuck in the kitchen while everyone else is hanging out. The kitchen sits right between the kitchen and the living room, so it feels like part of the everyday living space rather than a formal dining room that hardly ever gets used. You have room for a huge table, you've got updated lighting, and you've got the same engineered hardwood floor running through the main living areas. Let me show you something that can be really important in a mountain home when you have parents, extended family, or guests visiting. You have a large bedroom here on the main level. It's spacious enough for big furniture, it gets good natural light, and it has convenient access to an ensuite bathroom. This gives you a lot of flexibility. It could be a comfortable guest suite, it could be a place for parents who don't want to navigate the stairs, or even a private office that can still function as a bedroom when you have visitors. This kind of main level sleeping space is something that buyers often don't realize that they need until they really start thinking about how their family's going to use the home. And this bathroom was completely renovated too. You have new cabinetry, quartz countertops, new tile, new sinks. What I really like is that the sellers didn't just focus on the kitchen and the main living areas. They carried out the renovations into every bathroom so the entire home feels updated and consistent. There's also a separate half bathroom here on the main level, which is great because then guests don't have to use the full bathroom next to the bedroom. Honestly, everything was touched in this house. Now look at the size of this laundry room. It's huge. You have newer tile, cabinetry, a utility sink, and quartz countertops in a mountain home. This type of functional space really matters. Between ski clothes and bike gear, boots, jackets, and everything else that comes with living here, you need storage and utility space that can handle real life. The sellers also addressed some other far less glamorous improvements that you'd never see in the listing photos. They installed a vapor barrier in the basement area and added new grates to help the home be resistant to mice. Those improvements, they're not going to be the hero shot on Zillow, but they can save a future owner from some real headaches. These are the kind of details I always want to know about when I'm helping someone evaluate a home. The countertops, they're easy to see. It's the improvements behind the scenes that are often where the real value is. And this is exactly why when I'm helping buyers who aren't here locally, I don't just send them the listing and tell them to look through the photos. I'll walk them through the home on FaceTime, open the doors, show them the storage, point out the improvements that they can't see online, and also tell them about the things that may be a concern. That way, they have a much better idea of whether the home's actually worth making the trip to Frisco or not. Speaking of things you can't fully understand from the listing photos, before I go and show you upstairs, there's one very important part of this property that I want to show you honestly. This lot backs up to I-70. Rather than just telling you about the freeway noise, I want to take you out back so that you can see exactly where it is and you can hear it for yourself. Okay, now before we go outside, just listen to how quiet it is in here with the triple pane windows and the door closed. It's extremely quiet inside. Now, let's open the door and step outside, and I'm not going to cut the audio so that you can hear the difference. Okay, this is the back of the property. So as you can see, the home does back towards I-70 and you can hear traffic when you're outside. I'm not going to tell you that you can't hear it because you can. Some buyers will stand out here and decide immediately that it isn't for them, and that's completely fair. Other buyers may decide that the home, the renovations, the neighborhood, and the value more than make up for it. Everyone's tolerance for sound is different, and I actually have a great example of this. Years ago, I sold a home that backed right up to a busy highway, similar to this. When I was showing it to the buyers, I asked them, does the highway noise bother you? And they said, what highway noise? We're from downtown Chicago. This is nothing. So it really is personal. What feels loud to one buyer may not bother another buyer at all. And that's why I don't want to call it white noise or tell you that you'll eventually stop noticing it, because I can't make that decision for you. I want you to see it, I want you to hear it, and I want you to decide how it feels to you. Okay, now again, listen to how quiet it is now with the doors closed and the triple pane windows. It makes all the difference in the world. This is why these triple pane windows are one of the most important upgrades in the entire house. Now here's the trade-off. In my opinion, if this exact home with the same level of renovations were located just a few blocks further into the reserve, it could easily command around another $800,000 more. And that's a huge difference. The location of this home is one of the primary reasons a buyer has an opportunity to get into this neighborhood at this price. You're not getting a lower price because the home needs a new kitchen, bathrooms, windows, flooring, and years of renovation work. That work has already been done. What you're trading is some exterior noise for a beautifully renovated home in one of Frisco's most sought after neighborhoods at a price point that is otherwise really difficult to find here. And this is where having someone local who lives here in Frisco representing you really matters. A listing photo can't tell you what the freeway sounds like from the backyard, or how quiet the home becomes when the triple pane windows are closed, or whether the price really makes up for the location of the lot. I can show you how this home compares with quieter properties deeper inside the reserve, what those homes have sold for, and whether you're getting enough value for the trade-offs. So before you rule out a property because of what you see on a map, or you spend the time and the money to come see it, just call me, text me, or send me an email. I can walk you through it on FaceTime or Zoom. I can give you a complete story and help you decide whether it deserves a place on your list or not. Now that you've seen and heard that for yourselves, let's go head upstairs. Now, as we head upstairs, notice the custom-built metal railing. This railing gives the home a much cleaner, more contemporary mountain feel, but it doesn't feel overly modern or out of place. The sellers also replaced the stair carpeting and continued the newer flooring upstairs. Up here you have this really flexible loft area right between the two upstairs bedrooms. You could use this as an office, a reading space, a second area, or just a place for kids or somewhere that the guests can spread out and hang out when they're here. You get this open, usable space that makes the whole level feel so much more spacious. And this is the second feature that I mentioned earlier. The sellers enlarged the upstairs door opening and added this huge glass door that leads out to a deck. Just look at how much light this brings in. It makes this entire upstairs level feel brighter and more open. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that I'm all about sunlight and how important that is in a mountain home. We have long winters here, and some homes can feel so much darker than buyers expect. Natural light can completely change how a mountain home feels, and this oversized glass door just makes such a huge difference up here. Then you step out onto the upstairs deck where you can enjoy the mountain views and the trees, and it's just more great outdoor space. So you can hang out up here, enjoy coffee and the sun all year round because it's south facing. And another really important feature is that the driveway is south facing. It's kind of hard to see because of the trees. And because of that, you're going to get more sunlight, and that helps with snow and ice melt much faster in the winter. That may not sound like the most exciting feature, but trust me, after a big snowstorm, you really appreciate it. Now, let's go take a look at the primary suite. The primary suite is really large, it's bright, and it's private from the main level guest suite. You've got room for a king-size bed and even seating without the bedroom feeling crowded. There's also a walk-in closet and additional storage. The primary bathroom was also completely remodeled. You have new custom cabinetry, quartz countertops, new sinks and faucets, updated lighting, tile flooring, extensive shower tile, a brand new bathtub and toilet, and new fixtures. The other upstairs bedroom is also really good size. It's currently set up to show how well it could work as a bunk room, which is always useful in a mountain home, but it could also be arranged as a traditional guest suite. There's enough space for multiple sleeping areas without the room feeling cramped. And with one bedroom on the main floor and two bedrooms upstairs, the layout gives you some flexibility depending on who's staying with you and how you want to use the home. Okay, now you've seen the entire home. Here's what I think you really need to understand about this property. This isn't just a renovated home. It's an opportunity to buy into the reserve at a price point that usually doesn't exist for a home in this condition. The trade-off is really clear. You will hear the freeway when you're outside, but in exchange, you're getting the location, the neighborhood, a true single-family home, and more than $500,000, $580,000 in renovations that have already been completed. Every buyer has to decide which trade-offs they're willing to make. Some buyers would rather pay substantially more for a quieter lot. Someone else may look at the difference in price and decide that they'd rather keep that money, especially when the home itself inside is so quiet. Now I want to talk a little bit about the neighborhood. The Reserve is one of the Frisco neighborhoods I'm probably asked about the most. It feels like a true residential neighborhood rather than just a collection of vacation properties. You have mature trees, you have larger lots than you'd find in many parts of Frisco, more privacy, and a real neighborhood feel. The Frisco Rec Path also winds right through the neighborhood, so you have easy access for walking and biking. And because this is Frisco, you're centrally located to everything Summit County offers. You have Frisco Main Street, the marina, Lake Dillon, hiking and biking trails, easy access to multiple ski areas. You're close to I-70, which is obviously part of the trade-off with this particular lot. But it also means that getting in and out of Frisco is extremely convenient. For a lot of buyers, Frisco becomes the sweet spot because you get access to the entire county without feeling like you're living directly inside a ski resort. This is something I help buyers figure out all the time. It's not just about the house. It's about where do you want to live up here? Do you want to walk to town, be close to skiing, have easy I-70 access, or have more peace and privacy? What do you prioritize? Once I know that, I can help you focus on the areas that actually fit you. Give me a call. Let's have a conversation. Okay, so who do I think this home is right for? I think this home is a great fit for someone who wants a single family home in the Reserve, wants everything ready and updated, and doesn't want to spend the next year dealing with a renovation. It's also for someone who understands the location of the lot and sees the value in that trade-off. Now, if you want complete silence every time you step outside, this probably isn't the home for you. But if you're someone who really prioritizes winter, comes up mainly to ski, then heads home, turns on the fire, and enjoys the house with the windows closed, the freeway noise outside may not really matter that much to you. For the right buyer, this could be a really compelling way to get into the Reserve, enjoy all of these high-end renovations, and pay substantially less than the same home might cost on a quieter lot a few blocks down the road. Now, let's get to the actual facts. Okay, here's the numbers. This home has 2,588 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, has a heated 2-car garage, and sits on just under a 1/4 acre. It was built in 2000, and now for the price. As of the day we're filming, 147 Lupine Lane is offered at $2.145. Now here's the thing. This home is only part of the story. Why do buyers ask me all the time about the Reserve, more than almost any other neighborhood in Frisco? And why do people who move here hardly ever leave? Watch my full neighborhood tour of the Reserve next, and I will show you that in the next video. I'll see you there.